It's got to be one of the shortest games of chess I've had for a very long time. What sort of opening was it? Well, this boring old fianchetto. I do believe that a lot of people that fianchetto don't think about it. They discover this pretty little thing you can do called a fianchetto and they just do it without really thinking about whether it's the right thing to do. And certainly doing it as an opening move, I think, is highly questionable. If someone's going to do something that kind of defensive, then I'm going to have to do something very offensive in the middle because they're basically claiming the flanks. So I push like this. Incidentally, if he fianchettos at this point, what's my next move? Well, I would normally do this. I know some of you would do that. But I would normally do this and get ready for my fortress defense, where you have both bishops in the middle there. And then you have one knight coming out normally, and you have the other knight coming out higgledy-piggledy usually, or like this, and then onto, let's say, onto this square here. Anyways, that didn't happen. He didn't fianchetto. He didn't finish the fianchetto, which was odd. He just pushed on the d-file, which was far too early, very premature, which tells me that he's going to push pawns. He's going to try and overwhelm me with pawns early on in the game. The weakness of that is that it just opens up too many gaps. It's so counter-defensive. Now, I like a closed game. I'm a big fan of closed games. That's my morning alarm going off. Don't know which button cancels it because I'm never normally awake. I'm a big fan of closed game, classical games. I don't like lots of material being exchanged, so I lock it up, and he carries on with this. And I'm not going to bite. That pawn move is one of the worst moves you can make in chess. It's just well worth knowing that, because the line that it opens up on your king on that white diagonal, it can be lethal, and will be lethal here. And you'll see exactly how that's exploited in the best possible way. So check. I just started with a check here, and again the only reason is to just draw his pawns out. I'm expecting him to come out with a pawn. Personally, I would probably parry it with a bishop or something. Check. He doesn't want to lose his so-called good bishop at the moment, and he doesn't want to have his knight pinned and get this situation. Check. So he kind of does the only thing he can do, and really that'd be a weak pawn later, isn't it? Once the knight moves, it's not defended. Now I come to here, and this is the danger square. This is, as you see, this is one of the original squares that I said I was going to have my bishops on for the fortress defense, what I call the fortress defense, which is my own invention. Now he takes here, and I just completely ignore it. Well, I didn't completely ignore it, actually. I recaptured and waited to do something else. Perhaps I should have ignored it, because if he hadn't done this little innocuous move here... In fact, this move is what really lost him the game. This pushing up here would made things even worse for him, because check. Look what happens now. We get check here. Now I know what you're thinking. You can block it with a pawn. It's the only thing you can block it with, and the problem is my bishop is on the magic square. Check. I take that, and as you see, if he recaptures, that's really bad for him. Not only is his king exposed, but he's lost a rook, and my queen is right up in his camp. Check. So check. This is the move. That pawn, unfortunately, that is the correct... He has to take that bishop, because if he doesn't, look what happens. He has to move. There's nothing he can block it with. And now, where is he? Now he's there. And he's given me this pawn anchor. So, after this... Check. Now the queen's going to fall. And at this point, surprisingly enough, he resigned.